Good morning, all. Today we discuss the topic angular momentum. In this chapter, we have to discuss angular momentum of a particle and two examples: angular momentum of sliding block, angular momentum of conical pendulum. Then torque, central force motion, and law of equal area as an application of conservation of angular momentum, and torque on a sliding block, torque on the conical pendulum, torque due to gravity. Then we have to discuss angular momentum and fixed axis rotation. Then moment of inertia of some simple objects. The theorem related to moment of inertia, that is parallax theorem, and the dynamics of pure rotation about an axis. Then Atwood machine with a massive pulley, simple pendulum, physical pendulum. Then we have to discuss the motion involving both translation and rotation. As an example, angular momentum of a rolling wheel, drum rolling on a plane. Then work energy theorem for a rigid body. As an example, drum rolling down a plane by energy method. Next, the vector nature of angular velocity and angular momentum. Then rotation through finite angles, rotation in the xy plane, vector nature of angular velocity and conservation of angular momentum. All the sections to be discussed from the textbook An Introduction to Mechanics, first edition by Daniel Kleppner. Okay, then first we go to angular momentum. Consider the common yo-yo running up and down as its string spools wind and unwinds. I will show you the video of the movement of common yo-yo.
Ever wonder what makes a yo-yo yo? The answer lies in physics. You've heard of inertia. Ever wonder what makes a yo-yo? Ever wonder what makes a yo-yo yo? The answer lies in physics. You've heard of inertia, right? Inertia is the tendency of something in motion to stay in motion, and something at rest to stay at rest. When you let go of a yo-yo, Gravity causes it to start moving down. Now, because it has a string wrapped around its axle, the yo-yo will start spinning. By the time it reaches the end of the string, it's spinning fast, and because of inertia, it has a strong tendency to keep spinning. The string that holds the yo-yo is attached to the axle in its middle. As the string unwinds, that axle is spinning too. So, when the string runs out, the axle keeps on spinning, causing the string to wrap itself around the other way. That's how the yo-yo winds itself back up. Now, in most yo-yos, there's a small loop at the bottom of the string. The yo-yo can be made to hang in that loop momentarily. That's called sleeping the yo-yo. A quick tug on the string pulls the loop against the axle, increasing the friction between them. It's that momentary increase of friction causing the string to catch on the axle, wrap around the spinning axle, and come up again. Yo, I'm Mandy Stroud.
Okay. In principle, we can predict the motion because each particle of yo-yo moves according to the Newton's laws. The motion is simple, but attempting to analyze it on a particle by particle basis would quickly prove to be hopeless. That is, if we analyzing the motion as a many number of particle system, okay, here we consider the different particles on the yo-yo and the string of yo-yo. Okay, then we analyzing that motion. It must be very difficult to analyze. Here the difficulty is due to there is a translation motion and also a rotation motion. So to treat the rotational motion of extended bodies as a whole, we need to develop a simple method. When we attacking the problem of translation motion, we introduce the concept of force, linear momentum, and center of mass. Okay, in the previous chapters, we have discussed about many translation motions. In that case, we introduce the force, linear momentum, and center of mass, etc. Okay, now in the rotational motion, in this chapter, we introduce some physical quantities that analogous to the translation motion. Okay, that is torque. Torque is the rotational analog of force. Angular momentum, it is a rotational analog of linear momentum, and moment of inertia, it is the rotational analog of mass. Okay, so in this chapter we have to discuss about these quantities: torque, angular momentum, and moment of inertia. So first we going to define angular momentum. The angular momentum L of a particle that has linear momentum P and is at a position R with respect to a origin with respect to a given coordinate system. Okay, then it can be written as L must be equal to R cross P. Here the into mark denote the cross product. Here angular momentum is a vector. R is a vector. Okay. Here all the quantities that are vector quantities, the angular momentum and the position vector R, and also the linear momentum. Okay, and we can denote vector signs here. When we discussing the cross products, we have mentioned the direction of a quantity after getting cross producted. Here two vectors are R and P are cross producted each other, and the result is angular momentum L. Then we know that the angular momentum L must be mutually perpendicular to R and P, isn't it? The unit of angular momentum in SI system is kilogram meter square by second. In CGS system, gram centimeter square divided by second. There are no special name for this unit. Okay. And the two aspects of angular momentum deserve comments. That two aspects of angular momentum is important. So the first one, the quantity angular momentum L explicitly involves the position R. Okay, that the angular momentum depends on the position vector R. The value of R therefore depend not only on the motion of the particle, but also on its location with respect to the origin of a particle, to origin of the coordinate system. Suppose that we whirling a stone tied in a string in a horizontal circle. Okay, if you are doing this process in a classroom, just assume that we doing this process from a classroom. The angular momentum can be written as L must be equal to R cross P. Okay, here the quantity R is the position vector, position of the stone that we circulating. Okay, position vector of the stone that we circulating. Actually, R is a position vector. It is a vector quantity. Then it must have an origin. Okay, so we can fix a coordinate system in different points. Okay, just if we set the origin of the coordinate system in one of the corner of your classroom, then you will get some value for the position vector r. Okay, in another case, if we set the origin of the coordinate system in the bottom of your legs or beneath you, okay, then that position vector must have a magnitude less than that of we chosen from the corner, chosen in the corner of the classroom. Okay, so the value of EL depends not only on the motion of the particle, but also on the location with respect to the origin of a particular coordinate system. The second unusual aspect is that this is the first physical quantity that we have encountered that involves a cross product. Okay, in our discussions of mechanics, it is the quantity, it is a physical quantity that involves a cross product. The diagram shows the trajectory and instantaneous position of the particle and the direction of the momentum of the particle. Okay, in figure, the vector r also given. And the momentum also shown. We already mentioned that L that is equal to r cross p, that is perpendicular to the plane containing r and p. Okay, here we considering the vectors r and p, it is in a plane. What is p here? P is the momentum, or momentum is the product of mass and velocity. We know that the direction of velocity what is the direction of linear velocity? It will be tangential to the circular path. Okay, so here L is perpendicular to the plane r and p and points in the direction dictated by the right hand rule for the vector multiplication. Okay, you just collect the idea about what is the right hand rule for vector multiplication. Okay, for that we just point the index finger of your right hand along R and orient your hand so that you can bend the other fingers towards P. Okay, the index finger along R and the other finger, or we take your middle finger, that is towards P. Then your thumb points in the direction of L. If R and P lies in the XY plane, then L lies along the Z axis. We know that when we defining, we write L is equal to R cross P. It is not equal to P cross R. It is equal to minus of P cross R. Minus of P cross R means it is opposite to that of this one. Okay, if we change the directions, if we change P and R, here we changing, here we first take momentum, and secondly here we find P cross R, not R cross P. They are different. A cross B not equal to B cross C. A cross B is equal to minus of B cross C. So R cross B is equal to minus of P cross R. Okay, then there is a sense of rotation. Okay, that is, if L points in the positive Z direction, if L points in the, we take the sense of rotation are counterclockwise, and if L points in the negative Z direction, the sense of rotation is clockwise. So positive Z counterclockwise, negative Z clockwise. So that is the sense of rotations. Here we mention the sense of rotation. So it does not affirm that the angular momentum L will be a curved one. Okay, the angular momentum L may be straight or curved, but here we only mention its direction. Okay, it acts towards only in that sense, not it be, we not affirm that it is a circular one or it is a curved one. Here we mentioned that L points in the positive Z direction, then it is counterclockwise, and in the negative Z direction it is clockwise. Okay, if the R is if R is 0 or P is 0 or if they are parallel. Okay. If R equal to 0, L is equal to 0. If P is equal to 0, L is equal to 0. In some cases, R and P not equal to 0, but the angle between R and P may be 0 or 180, etc. Then in that case also, L must be equal to 0. Okay. So in that case, if the trajectory aims at the origin, okay, if the trajectory aims at the origin, in that case, R and P are parallel and L is equal to 0. Okay. If L is equal to 0, L equal to 0 means there is no angular momentum quantity, then you just not want mention is it positive clockwise, is it is counterclockwise or clockwise sense. Next we going to define torque. So first we mentioned that angular momentum is the rotational analog of linear momentum, or we write L is equal to R cross P. L is equal to R cross P. In a similar way, we can define torque. Torque is a rotational analog of force so we can written it as tau is equal to the torque. Tau is expressed as tau is equal to R cross F. In a similar fashion, we expressed angular momentum. Tau is equal to R cross F. We can also associate a sense of rotation here using R and F as in the previous case. Here look at the figure. Assume that all the vectors shown in the sketch are in the XY plane. When we evaluating tau 1 and tau 2, what will be tau 1? Tau 1 must be equal to R1 cross F1. Okay, and tau 2 is equal to R2 F2. So look at the direction. Here the direction of R1, here is the direction of F1. It is in counter clockwise direction. That we means, okay, this point and F1 this side, then it is counterclockwise, or Z must be, or here what rule to be taken? Right hand rule, right hand thumb rule. Okay, then position the index finger in the direction of R1 and your middle finger in the direction of F1, then your thumb directed towards the torque. Then it will be along the positive z axis or the out of the paper. And in the case of toe 2, here R2 and F2 in this direction, then it is in clockwise sense or into the negative z axis or into the paper. Torque and force are inherently different quantities because torque depends on the origin, but force does not. As in the case of angular momentum. Angular momentum depends on the position. In the same way, not only the position, also on the origin of the coordinate system. In the same way, torque also depends on the origin we choose, but force does not. And here in the figure, we give three cases. There can be torque on a system with zero net force. There can be force with zero net torque, or in general, there may be both torque and force. Okay. And here in the first case, here a force F is acting downward, small f acting downward. At this point, the same force acting upward. Then the total force acting is sum of these ones. That is, total force must be equal to what? Small f plus minus f. It is equal and opposite to this one. Then it is equal to capital F is equal to 0. Okay. But here, first we find the torque here. Torque from this one is tau 1 is equal to just look at this point. R is in the direction and F is in this direction. Then out of the paper. Okay, torque is out of the paper. Then RF, I just write out of paper direction. Okay, then what is tau 2? This one, R this. Okay, this is counterclockwise. This is also counterclockwise. Then it is also is equal to RF out of paper. Then total tau must be equal to sum of these two, that is 2RF, isn't it? In this case, here here total F is equal to F plus F, that is equal to 2F. Okay, but here tau 1 must be equal to, let it be this tau 1, it is in RF into paper, next tau 2 is equal to RF out of paper, then the total tau must be equal to sum of these two, first vector into the paper, the second vector out of the paper with same quantity magnitude, then they cancel. Okay, in here only one force, then tau is equal to RF. So here first case there is torque with 0 net force. The second case is a force, net force with 0 net torque. In this case there is torque and force. Okay, and now we relating the torque and angular momentum. Okay, we will get torque as the rate of change of angular momentum. For that we start from finding rate of change of angular momentum, finding rate of change of angular momentum, or that is equal to the rate of change of, in the place of angular momentum we write R cross P. Okay, then we express it must be equal to cross product of the derivative of cross product of these two, then it will be two terms. First we finding R cross dp by dt plus dr by dt cross p. Okay, or you can write this one first and this as the second. Then look at here, this is dr by dt is what? It is velocity. What is this quantity? Dr by dt, it is velocity. Okay, and what is momentum? Momentum is mass into velocity. Here this velocity, mass is a constant quantity, then m into v cross v. As they are same one, the angle between them must be 0. They are parallel, so the cross product must be equal to 0. And so look at this one. What is dp by dt? dp by dt is equal to f. Okay, so here the first term vanishes and dp by dt is equal to f. So we'll get tau is equal to dl divided by dt. So torque, it is the relation between torque and angular momentum. Tau is equal to dl divided by dt.